Good morning, and welcome to the Ryan Wright HIV/AIDS Program Clinical Conference. I am Allison Agwu, a professor of medicine and pediatrics at Johns Hopkins in Baltimore, and also a Ryan Wright provider. I'd love to welcome and introduce you to my co-chairs, Laura Cheever and Michael Sag. Next slide. So just to remind everybody, this conference is CME accredited with 14.5 credits for IAS-USA. Next slide. But because we pride ourselves on the variety of providers, there are also CME credits available for multiple other entities. And so just make sure that you have those that match yours and only claim the CME for the time that you've actually spent. Importantly, one of the key features and elements of the clinical conference is to provide data and elements that you can share with others. And so the training slide guide will be provided for you as a key resource, and we do want you to share. As a reminder, the sessions from yesterday are available on demand now, and I particularly recommend you tuning into the panel from last night, which is a real treat. Next slide. We really do want to make sure that this is a lively, interactive session, all the session and conference. Please do use the live Q&A feature and put your questions in the Q&A section, and try not to put them in the chat because they may get lost. But the chat, we also do like to see what's happening in the chat. There's lots of dialogue happens there, and it brings a richness to the content. Next slide. But today we have a really exciting agenda, starting with Roger Badimo, who is fantastic, talking about antiretroviral therapy and weight gain, Jennifer Kaiser talking about polypharmacy, and then Dr. Green talking about managing HIV and aging. And then a wonderful session from the clinical cases and controversies in ART. Really excited to present to you today. So really do want to hear your thoughts. Again, use the Q&A, use the chat. We really do want it just not to be us behind these screens, but to be all of us engaging and sharing. Next slide. To remind you, after the sessions are done, there will be concurrent Meet the Expert breakout sessions. I believe you should have been able to sign up for those pre-registration prior, and making sure you join where the experts, Dr. Sag, Dr. Green, Dr. Badimo, and Dr. Chiba will be there to answer in a more intimate setting, as intimate as you can get on a computer, to talk about some of the issues that you may be having in a more, again, personable fashion. Next slide. So now I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Cheever, who's going to introduce our first speaker.